Hello everyone, Ryan here. Shocker on Shock Street by R.L. Stine. Goosebumps number 35. Recently read this. Actually, this is my first time rereading this particular Goosebumps books since 95. That's right, 1995. Oh. Bah. So the main characters in this is Erin Wright and her best friend Marty McFly. No, not Marty McFly. Would be cool if it were Marty McFly. But and they love horror movies. They're big fans of the Shocker on Shock Street movies. And they're also fans of all these different creatures, like the Toadinator and Ape Face and the Mad Mangler. And then they get the opportunity to be the first to take a studio tour, the Shocker Studio theme park tour. Actually, because Erin's father, he's, I guess, like the main engineer of this studio theme park thing. And he pretty much designed everything in this theme park. So him and along with his team, I guess they decided to test out everything and before they open it to the general public. So he tells his daughter, Erin, and her friend Marty, that they can be the first to take this tour. And so they agree to it because why not? You know, they're young and they got plenty of time on their hands, and so they take this tour. And they quickly encounter all these weird things and scary things, different creatures, and a lot of stuff happens, and it makes it seem like it's more real than they expected. And of course, there's a scene with the giant praying mantis. Well, actually, more than one giant praying mantis. And there's also one part where they're in a cave, all these giant worms fall on top of them, and they also experience going through this like haunted house. But it's also like this wild kind of roller coaster ride, and which actually, to me, it kind of reminded me of maybe one or two rides or attractions at actual theme parks that I've been to. And not exactly the same, but pretty similar. So it made me wonder if R.L. Stine, for this particular book, made me wonder if he drew on his own experiences with theme parks and scary rides and whatnot. And yeah, probably. Most people are familiar with theme parks. I guess, if you're lucky enough to have been able to afford going to a theme park, so yeah. And especially nowadays with inflation and all that. No, I won't get into that, but maybe another time. But so Erin and like I said, Erin and Marty, they experience all these different things. Well, and there's another part where they have to they try to escape from a pack of werewolves, and they climb up this huge wall and they try to get away from these ravenous werewolves. And And of course, eventually towards the end, it all comes down to this like big twist ending, and which, by the way, I know there's the TV episode for this Shocker on Shock Street. Of course, the Goosebumps TV show, the original one, obviously from the 90s. They adapted a lot of these original Goosebumps stories, made them into TV episodes. But the TV episode for this one, I mean, it's okay, but they cut out a lot of stuff in the TV episode, and they changed the ending. They didn't change it completely, but they changed a lot of the details. And in this book, the ending, it's still, I mean, it's a twist ending. But I remember, because this was my second time reading this, I wasn't surprised by it, obviously. But I do remember the very first time I read this, and the ending, it definitely did surprise me. So, and I remember for a long time it was one of my top 10 favorite Goosebumps books, and I would say it still is. It's just, I mean, obviously I'm a lot older now, and so a lot of the details in this I don't really find shocking. There were some parts that I thought were pretty creepy, but I mean, ultimately, I mean, I didn't lose sleep over it, but I can imagine how maybe young kids back in the 90s, or even today, maybe a lot of the stuff in this particular book might freak out a lot of kids. So yeah, parents be warned a bit. But ultimately, I mean, again, like with most Goosebumps books, stories, they're usually the same. But in a weird way, I don't know, I kind of like that. I like that I can rely on these books being exactly what I expect them to be. Every now and then there'll be a couple that will shock me, but for the most part, I mean, they're pretty much what I expect. And so I mean, I like that, and also too, because I know I've said it many times before, there's like a big nostalgic factor, and so yeah, I got no complaints. I just, the only complaint I have is that I wish something like this existed in real life. Some kind of theme park studio tour like this. I mean, exactly like this. But then, of course, I don't know if something like this does indeed already exist, or if it existed at one point. But then it was too costly to maintain and had to be torn down, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm going on about. Sometimes I tend to go off into different tangents. So anyways, ultimately, a Shocker on Shock Street. Overall, I'm going to say, I got to give it 4.5 stars, 4.5 out of 5. 4.5, 4.5, however you want to say that. Yeah, 4.5 stars out of 5. That's it. That'll do it for this review. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking in. Peace.